Hey everybody, you're watching Ready Set Drone, and today I'm going to compare the Bug 6 and the Bugs 8. These are both from MJX RC, and they are very, very similar. As a matter of fact, they're so similar, they're pretty much exactly the same. But I'm going to do a review of the two of them and kind of tell you what I like, what I don't like, and whether you should get one or not, so stay tuned. So I got the Bugs 8 a couple of weeks ago, and Bryson and I went out and shot some video of it already. And then I was going to post that review, and then I received a Bug 6. And I was like, well, wait a minute, what's going on between these two? I did a little bit of investigating, and there isn't a whole lot out there about the differences between the two, but there's a couple of people that explained it, and then I just kind of looked into it myself. The Bugs 8 and the Bug 6 are almost exactly the same. They have a different top plate, so they look a little bit different. And then the Bugs 8, I think by default, comes with some extra things like the screen and the FPV goggles, whereas the Bug 6, I think you have to choose those things. So it's weird though, because this on here, it says optional camera and optional screen for the Bugs 8. So I don't know, maybe it didn't come with those by default. Regardless, what I've got for both of these is the full Bug, so to speak, meaning that I have the FPV camera for drone racing, which also takes video, as well as the screen and the goggles, which work on both of them. All right, so on my left with the green is the Bug 6. On my right with the red is the Bugs 8. As you can see, they have different top plates, and that is about the only difference right now. When I opened up the Bugs 6 top plate originally, there was no camera in it, and I'll show you where that camera goes. I put a camera in it, and the camera came with it. The camera was in the box with it. So the Bugs 8 came with the camera already in it. The Bug 6 did not. It took me about 2 minutes to drop that camera in, plug it into the power port, and wrangle the cables and put 3 screws in, and that was it. I also wanted to show you guys real quick on the Bugs 6 and the Bugs 8, there are some little dip switches right here. Those switches allow you to change your transmission channel. So if you're going to fly 2 of these at the same time and you want to be able to FPV with both of them, you're going to want to switch the settings on one of them so it's different from the other. That way you don't get cross interference between the two transmitters. Also, over here, there is a micro SD slot in the side of this. That's where your card goes for recording video. So if you're going to record video while you're flying, you're going to want to put the micro SD card in this camera. It's fairly easy to do. It's a little hard to get to, but what's nice about this canopy is this canopy actually doesn't even require any screws. It just pops on and off just like that. You can even exchange the canopies between the two crafts. Otherwise, both the Bugs 8 and the Bug 6 use an XT30 connector on the battery, which is this connector right back here. They both have super bright LEDs on the front and back, which is really cool for orientation. And on both of them, you can tilt the camera up and down with your finger. Basically, you can just kind of figure out what angle you want to fly at and see how that looks. So right now that's all the way up, that's midway, that's more down. Of course, the more aggressive you're flying, the more up you're going to want it to be. And if you're flying more slow, the more down you're going to want it to be. So I'm going to put it in the middle on both of them. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple of things about the Bugs 8 and the Bug 6. Number one, they have the exact same radio. It's this guy right here. Looks very similar to the one that came with the Bugs 3 as well. One thing I do like about it is it's labeled. So it's got this low and high switch here. This is the lock to unlock and start up the props or stop the props by holding it down. Flip button and camera button. I don't know why more drone manufacturers don't label these switches, because they all kind of look the same and you have to go to the instructions and figure out which is which. I just had to do that on a different drone. But I appreciate the fact that Bugs or MJX RC does that for you. It's a pretty good feeling remote. I mean, it's still a toy grade remote control. This isn't, you hear it rattling in there? That's always a sign that it's not super well made. But again, the finish on it is nice. I like the matte black. It's very grippy. It isn't going to be easy to drop. And then real quick on the battery, it comes with 7.4, that's a 2S, 1300 milliamp hour, 25C LiPo with an XT30 connector on the back of it, which is nice because that's a standard size battery. You could actually get a 2S with an XT30 connector, and you wouldn't have to have the proprietary one. The nice thing about the proprietary one is it has a case around it, which kind of helps protect it, and also it slips into the slot really easily, but it grips in there pretty well. So I know the Bugs 8 came with 2 batteries, and I believe the Bugs 6 comes with 1. I'm not sure about that. I have 3 between the 2 drones for some reason. Maybe that's part of the difference between the Bugs 6 and the Bugs 8, is you get an extra battery with the Bugs 8. But regardless, it is a standard hobby battery with a case around it, so that's nice to have. Here is the monitor. This is the little screen that you use for the FPV. It does have on the back a little place where you can put a holder that'll hold on to your remote and hold it in place if you don't have the goggles. But it also has these handy dandy goggles, and you can slip the screen right in here. Slip it in like this, and then you actually get a pretty good view of the screen using these goggles. I have flown with it already, and I was pretty impressed with how good the screen looks in these things. Blocks out ambient light and gives you more of an FPV kind of feeling when you're flying. Both the Bugs 8 and the Bugs 6 work with third-party FPV goggles, Fat Sharks, Omways, other ones like that. The reason is because they transmit on 5.8 gigahertz. So if you want to get into FPV racing and actually buy a really nice set of Fat Shark goggles or Omway goggles, you can use the Bugs 8 to fly with your Omway, or you can use your Omway or Fat Shark goggles to fly with the Bugs 8, which is really nice. You're not stuck with this sort of cheap goggle setup. But honestly, for the price, I feel like these goggles do a really nice job. I turned on the radio and I turned on the Bugs 6, and they weren't bound to one another. So what I had to do was turn off the radio, hold down the red button on the top left, and turn it on while I was holding that button down, and then it bound. So if you're having trouble binding your radio to your Bugs, turn off the radio, turn on the Bugs, and then flip the switch to the power while you're holding down the red button on top. It should beep twice, and then it binds. That's what happened for me, per the instructions. So now I've actually got the little screen out here, and it's not on the right channel, so you just hit this channel button a few times. There we go. So now I've got the channel. You've got your brightness control here and your contrast control here. I think if you turn the brightness all the way up, then it goes back down to the bottom. So I'm gonna turn it up to about halfway. So in order to fire up the motors, there's this red button. It's the same one I used to bind the controller. You hold it down, or you push it once, and they spin up. And then if you hold it down for 3 seconds, 2 seconds, they go off. So I'm gonna go ahead and spin them up, and I'm gonna take off. And try not to hit Bryson. Nobody likes it when I hit Bryson, especially Bryson. And there it is. Now I'm actually gonna, so I held down the, I just held down the video button, and I believe that is recording video now. You hold down the photo button for 2 seconds, and it records video. Go ahead and just do a flip, just so I can show you what that looks like. It, like the Bugs 3, this thing does amazing flips. I mean, just very crisp. Doesn't lose any altitude when you flip. As you can see, really fun to flip. I mean, it's a bit of a gimmick. No FPV racers, except for maybe freestyle folks, do flips, and they don't do it automatically, they do it manually. Now I'm gonna just take off and switch it to, I think it's in low mode right now. So that's low mode, that's high mode. It's in high mode, so I'm gonna take off and see how it goes. I'll tell you one thing I love about this quad is the red lights in the back and the white lights in the front. Man, that just makes so much difference in orienting it. Lets me know which way I'm going. Look at how it turns too. And flip for good measure. Yeah, this thing is a blast to fly. Wow. All right, now it's time to put on my, my big boy pants and try out the FPV. So let's see how that goes. There we go, I just spun up the motors and I'm in the air. A little bit of breeze just picked up. And Bryson, let me know if there's any kids or anybody that comes around in the field. Thank you. Yeah, here we go. Is there anybody over there where I am? Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, a little bit of wind picking up. I just switched it to high rate. It's easy to get really high with this thing too, before you realize it. All right, one more time, I'm gonna try the flip. There we go. Boy, that'll make you dizzy. Whoa. And kill the motors. That was me not flying very well. All right, so I just cracked the little top of this thing here in that last crash. The good news is it's looks like it's gluable, so I'll glue it back together, and also it's not necessary for flight. I just wanted to show you a couple more things on this guy. Number one, these LEDs. These LEDs are just amazingly bright. You see the red ones in the back and the let me make sure it doesn't start off in my hand. The red ones in the back and the white ones in the front. They're just super bright, and they really help with oriented when you're flying line of sight. Number two, I wanted to show you the the view in the screen here. So if you can zoom in on that, are you able to see it? Yeah. So it's actually a pretty decent picture, and it really does a good job. These goggles do a good job of blocking out the light. One last thing I want to do before I put this guy away is I want to take a couple of photos with it so we can look at what those photos look like and see. So let me do that real quick, and then we'll wrap up. So you hear that beeping? That means my battery's getting low, so I need to switch out the battery before I do anything else. Let me do that real quick. There we go. There's a photo. All right, there's another photo. There's another photo. Trying to get a little closer to us. All right. Okay, so the Bugs 8 / Bug 6, I'm a big fan. I loved the Bugs 3, as you may have seen in a previous video that I did. But these guys right here are just fast. They're fun to fly. They're very responsive. They're not beginner quads. They are definitely ones that you're going to want to have a little bit of experience. But if you're wanting to get into FPV racing and you want to do it with an all-in-one package that includes the goggles and the screen and everything, this is a pretty good way to go. And then, as I said, if you get better at it and you want to upgrade your goggles to something a little more expensive and better, like a pair of Fat Sharks or Amways, they will work with those. I've tried it. I'm going to put a link in the description where you can check these guys out online. Again, I don't think it matters which one you buy because they're the very same. I just know that one of them I had to put the camera in, but it only took about 2 minutes versus the other one the camera was already in. So just do a little bit of diligence as you're searching for these. But I am a big fan, highly recommend if you're looking for an FPV that you can get started with, or just one that you can have some fun with and not have to spend a fortune to get into FPV racing. Hope you liked this video. If you did, please hit the like button, and I would love it if you subscribe to Ready Set Drone, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.